My name is Dale McCluskey, and I'd like to talk to you for a couple minutes regarding the whole issue of getting a dog from a negative environment or circumstance where a dog's coming from a pound or was abandoned or any environment that would be considered to be a negative place for a dog to come from. The whole context here is to understand that how we think is more important on such a high level than actually where the dog came from within the context of nature. So to really understand this, it's to know that dogs dogs don't think the same way as humans do. So our psychological state, our path that we take through our mind, really all at so many different levels. But it's those levels of emotions and how we're connecting with the dog at that level, what that dog's feeling from that shared psychological connection. So what happens is it goes from an emotional state, how we think, into a power state through the dog. The dog takes that as us handing power over to the dog, like on a silver platter, basically. So so what happens is when we get a dog from a pound, even a puppy, can send our mind onto that, align our mind in that way that's going to give power. It starts right there, even with with a puppy. Puppies, genetically, dogs are linked that way through nature, and they link us in that way. So, when a dog comes from an environment, if our mind starts to go in that direction, that you feel sorry for the dog at that level, now the dog is going to just take that as power. Now, dogs do come from negative environments, and nobody, everyone feels for dogs at that level. But some people, however, feel at a really high level, so they end up camping out in their mind that way. They end up just hovering there in the past, and all that does, dogs don't hover in the past like that. They move on. I mean, dogs are nature driven, so they're more in the moment. So our camping out in the past, really, what it does is it just gives power away. That's what it does. So the solution to everything, when you get a new dog and you're transitioning, a new dog into your home environment, is to understand that you have to connect with your dog through nature. What your dog really needs from you is to turn, just like a light switch. You need to become more assertive, confident, authoritative. Not aggressive. Now, this is the other context. Is sometimes people that are really emotional thinkers, they get kind of caught up in this whole context of labeling things on a simplistic level, like authority's bad, love's good, and this is the route I want to go. And some people, there's a percentage of the population that absolutely doesn't matter if they watch this video, if I lay everything out for them and show them, they'll refuse to accept it, because it's what I refer to, it's almost a belief system, because in their minds they're so caught up in the self-view, and they're so emotionally driven that they will not see anything beyond that. They won't. And so all you have to give them then is some conditioning and some movement and some response. And I talk about that too, that whole context of that they're already at the edge in their mind. They're already there. They're already accepting almost a belief system. So all they need is that extra little push over the edge, and there's no coming back. So, there's trainers like this. I mean, I talk about that too. And I don't talk about it to be negative. It's the whole issue of being blinded to this issue. It's like authority is in nature. It's there. You can see it. If you're objective, you look at it, you see it. So why would anyone assume it doesn't make its way into the human world through dogs, through that connection? And I show that link so clearly, but people don't want to see it because it's difficult in the sense it requires us to change how we think. And people become, so self-absorbed. I'm not being negative. I love dogs. But, and therefore, when you truly see a problem here, a major issue, you want to really get others to see it, because you want to help dogs in the end. I mean, that's the position. And I think often what happens is some owners, even some trainers, they're well-intentioned. I'm not saying a lot of them probably don't even understand it at that level, because it's the ability, you have to step back. But there's contradictions there in this whole training process if you're objective enough to see it. The contradictions are glaring. You'll see these, and what they are is the unwanted behaviors, what they're associated to. You don't need to be a trainer to sit down and start thinking, okay, jumping behavior, not liking the leash, taking off, all these, it's nature's pulling that dog, influencing that dog's mind at that level. So I don't care, you could be holding on to a whole pound of hot dog or treats in your hand, your dog goes out the door, and nature's pulling your dog's mind, that dog's not coming back. I mean, if he does, I describe it in one of my videos, the whole context of that situation, but, you know, I mean, it's a thing, it's nature's pulse. But if you create meaningful change, if you're shifting power, and then there's a direct association to the physical to you, when you say a command, come, that dog's going to come. Not because you're tempting or bribing the dog in, because it's harmony and path. I mean, that's the big difference here. So that's what my system is really about. It breaks it, kind of breaks it wide open. And it's challenging because it challenges how people think. So, but the whole key here is when you get a new dog, understand that you can get yourself in a mess fast if you allow your mind to go to that place that just gives power away unconditionally to the dog. I mean, it's a permissive path of love path. And dogs aren't built like that. I mean, that's the difference here, is we have to understand. So even when you get dogs, pit bulls and certain dogs, they'll take power faster. So all dogs will, however, if you just hand it to them. So you have to understand the whole context of what you want and what the dog needs, and how you can kind of everyone can come together and still get what you want out of the relationship, but it's got to connect and come around through nature first. So anyway, take a look at my website. I hope this video has been informative. If you have any questions, call me, email me. I'll be happy to answer them. Again, thanks very much.